Hi, everybody. Welcome back from spring break. Today is April 1st, no joke, and we're ready to begin our work towards or through the rest of our semester. So, this is your announcement for History 202. And this week, but I will be grading your Cold War papers, your atomic bomb papers. See, I'm getting my brain back in the gear too. So I'll be working on that for this week. You will be working on module 4.2, which is on the Cold War. And this is a really interesting time to be studying the Cold War the historic Cold War. Um, because I think that the relations that exist between the US and Russia are still tense and adversarial in many respects. And so I hope that this module will help you to kind of look back and learn some of the history behind the relationship between the United States and the former Soviet Union. Now they're called Russia. Okay, the Soviet Union doesn't exist anymore. They fell in 1991, and that was quite an incredible day for me personally because it was just a day I thought would never come. So anyway, that's this week's module. So I hope you get a lot out of it. So the work that you're going to do this week are to read chapters 35 and 36, read my commentary. Okay, I have a commentary there that I would like you to read. There is a self-check quiz, which is due, excuse me, April 2nd, which is tomorrow. And then, of course, the final due date for the discussion is April 4th on Thursday. So that means get your initial post in by 11 o'clock tomorrow, which is 48 hours before the due date. Okay, so like I was saying before, this module on the Cold War is interesting for me because this is kind of my era. I was born in 1964, which was right in the middle of the Cold War, which began, about 20 years, almost 20 years earlier in 1947, is the date that I usually say is when the Cold War begins, and a lot of scholars would say that too. And so growing up, I always was told, and you've heard it everywhere, that the Soviet Union was, kind of like the boogeyman, the monster, that communism was this evil, awful form of government, and that communist countries who had communist governments were out to destroy democracy and the United States. So it was a very tense time there, although the war was cold, meaning that the United States and the Soviet Union didn't actually fight each other in a shooting war. There were what are called proxy wars, where the US and the Soviets fought each other through other countries. The Vietnam War is an example of this. The Korean War is an example of this as well. So anyway, this is a pretty fascinating time, and I think it's important to look back on this time, especially for now. Okay, I am going to post with this announcement an article from the San Francisco Chronicle, which talks about current relations between the U.S. and Russia. So I'd really like you to read that. There's not going to be a test on it or anything, but just read it so that you can get some perspective on the current relationship between this, not the Soviets, the Russian government and the United States government. Okay, that's the announcement for today, for this week. I hope you have a great week. I hope you get back into the swing of things. One more thing that's interesting. Sorry, I just looked at my notes. Currently, we have a situation in Venezuela, which is, a country in South America. The government is very unstable. Anyway, you should look it up. But Russia has now become involved in this situation. So if you don't know what's going on in Venezuela, I urge you to Google it and see some news about it and look at respectable, good sources of news for that. So anyway, now I'm really done. And I hope you all have a good week. I'll see you again next time.